さあ来い。ボスは2人もいらない。
What's up, everybody? It's Young here, and welcome to a discussion on why people are so pissed at the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Pachinko that Konami announced today. So I learned from my previous video in which I ranted about how horrible this situation was that there are people who legitimately are wondering, what the hell? What's the big fuss about? It's just a pachinko machine. It's not the end of the world. You can just go and play the older games. They're still there. This is just this other thing that you can choose to ignore, like why the song and dance. And, you know, those people make a lot of good points, I think. It really isn't the end of the world. I never claimed that. Nothing really changes. Kojima's still out of Metal Gear. The Metal Gear series is still pretty much over. And yes, the games are still there. We can go back and play them. So what's the big deal if this pachinko thing comes along, right? Well, there's more to it than that. It's not so much the pachinko itself, but rather the culmination of various things leading up to this announcement that's pissing people off, Metal Gear fans in particular. Now, before we move on, let me explain what pachinko is, because there was a surprising amount of people who didn't know what that was. Pachinko is basically Japanese slot machines, although they are a little more involved. It's not like you just pull a lever and that's it. There's actually a whole arcade game, like pinball-esque game in the machines that you play. But essentially, pachinkos are gambling machines. You put in money and hope to win big. Otherwise, you just give the pachinko makers money. So that's what Metal Gear has been reduced to at this point. Right now, they're putting their efforts on making a Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine. Now, just to give you some perspective on this situation, imagine if this happened to your favorite franchise. I'm gonna use an example here. Let's say Elder Scrolls, right? People love Elder Scrolls. Big fantasy world, awesome lore, tons of exploration and freedom. You can make your own character and just awesome gameplay and what have you, right? It's just an awesome series. It's an awesome video game series. Now, imagine if Bethesda Game Studios one day, with no explanation, decided to fire Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios. Bethesda Softworks tells them, hey, finish up Skyrim and then you're gone. So they finish up Skyrim. The promise of extra content is pretty much null at this point. They're gone, and then Bethesda announces, hey, our company has decided to take a new direction. We think that there is a great market there in the casinos, and we want to invest in slot machines. So what we're gonna do is take away the Elder Scrolls franchise from video games and essentially dedicate this name Elder Scrolls to slot machines. We're gonna make slot machines that are themed after Elder Scrolls, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Would that not piss you off in any way? If this beloved franchise of yours that had endless possibilities was reduced to this thing that isn't even related to what it originally used to be, which was an expansive, awesome video game. And look, one thing is if the video game series is still continuing and on the side they do a, you know, like an Elder Scrolls themed pachinko or whatever, fine, as long as the main series is continuing, but that's not the case with Metal Gear, right? I mean, one thing is if we knew that Kojima was working on Metal Gear Solid 6, in that case, who freaking cares if Konami's working on a pachinko? Fine, let them do their thing as long as the core Metal Gear audience, the gamers, are getting something that is worthwhile for them. But that's not the case, right? Konami fired Kojima over whatever dispute. Then, after they released Metal Gear Solid 5, you know, and they had a big influence on how that game turned out, and I mean negative influence. They made the Kojima Productions work environment a living hell, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that attributed to the missing content and what have you. So not only did they fuck up the last Metal Gear game in a number of ways, not to say I still think it's a great game, but I mean, there was something left to be desired for sure. So not only did Konami do that, a tribute to that, then they fired Kojima and said, okay, we're no longer gonna do PC or console video games. We're gonna shift our attention to mobile and pachinkos. And we're gonna take this Metal Gear series that people love so much. We're not gonna just leave it. We're not gonna let it die in peace and let this series, the legacy, be. We're gonna take a piece of it and, you know, shove it into our pachinko business. So now we see the culmination of that. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Pachinko. They took this amazing game and made it into a money parasite, into a money absorbing machine. And they added some fancy CG cutscenes, and that's great and all, but what about the Metal Gear fans? The original Metal Gear fans, the people who lifted the Metal Gear name to where it is now, the people who played it, who talked about it, and the people who gave it the acclaim that it did to be at that level, to have that reputation. What about those people? Konami doesn't give a fuck about them. And that's the thing that's pissing people off. The not giving a fuck. The sidelining, the look, we got a business to run. Fuck the original guys, the original fans. We're gonna use what they built and draw in a new audience, make our own profit with it, and those guys, we're gonna leave them behind because who cares? We're gonna make money. And that attitude is what's pissing people off. It's not the pachinko itself that's pissing people off. It's Konami. It's the company. Look, it's my belief that a good business, and by good I mean not a business that makes a shit ton of money. I mean a business that can make money while being passionate about their products, while caring about the customers. A good company understands consumer loyalty. They understand that they have a responsibility towards the people that they're selling their products to. Metal Gear is a product that was sold to gamers, to passionate gamers who fell in love with the series' Jesus, that word is weird. The franchises, the stories, the characters, the gameplay, the cinematography, all these awesome elements. That's what people expect from Metal Gear. And so Konami has a responsibility to maintain that if they're gonna do other side projects like pachinkos, you know? Like, imagine if the Marvel Cinematic Universe shut down all of its projects, and if just Marvel in general, like the comics and stuff, they were like, let's not do this anymore. We're gonna take Spider-Man and I don't know, make him into a brand of condoms. That's all he's gonna be. It's not like we're gonna have Spider-Man, the movies, we're gonna have that ongoing, and then we're gonna branch out and make Spider-Man condoms. No, we're gonna steer Spider-Man into a brand of condoms. That's what's happening with Metal Gear. They're saying, look, let's take Metal Gear and steer it into a pachinko brand instead of maintaining what it originally was at its core, a video game series with crazy storytelling, awesome graphics and cinematography, and awesome, these amazing characters. We're not gonna maintain that and then branch off to pachinkos. We're gonna say fuck this shit, the thing that people fell in love with, and just thank you guys for building up the name. Now we're gonna take it and use it however the fuck we want. Fuck the consumers. Fuck those guys. You know, we're making the money, so that's all there is to it, right? I mean, we're a business. We gotta be smart, so fuck them. That's the attitude that Konami is expressing right now, and that's what's pissing people off. Konami hasn't communicated with the gaming audience at all since the whole debacle. They haven't said we're sorry. They haven't said, you know, we'll try to get right. You know, they just haven't said shit. All they're concerned about is money. That is what's pissing people off. They don't actually care about the guys who helped their brands be what it is today. And I'm not just even talking about consumers, but also the developers. The way they're treated at Konami, I mean, the stories that they all share tells you a lot about what kind of company Konami is. And the fact that that kind of treatment is now sort of leaking to the consumers is simply baffling to me. And it's baffling to a lot of people, and they feel it. They feel that disrespect, that disloyalty. They feel sidelined. We feel sidelined. I would have been fine with the Metal Gear series just ending the way it is, but then they gotta go make it worse by taking the brand and making it something that it's not. And again, it would be different if the main series was continuing and then they branched off, but they're steering the whole ship to this direction that nobody wants it to go. They're not leaving it the way it is. They're like just taking it to this direction. And it's really pissing people off. Can you blame them? If it happened to your favorite franchise, would you be happy with it? If they said Elder Scrolls is now turning into slot machines instead of role-playing games, would you be happy with it? Again, not role-playing games and a side of slot machines. It's if Bethesda steered the whole ship to slot machines, would you be happy with that? If they steered Spider-Man to be condoms instead of this superhero in comics and in movies, would you be happy with that? Metal Gear fans right now have never felt more sidelined, more upset, more disrespected, more duped than now. Metal Gear fans really have it tough, which is why I even tolerate some of the bullshit comments that come my way, even though I have nothing to do with it, because I get it. Metal Gear fans have all the right to be upset because this thing that they have carried with them for decades has been turned to shit in the span of a couple of months. And we're lost. You know, we don't know where this is going, and just we're trying to move on, but Konami keeps bringing it back, but in forms that we would never want it to be, like Pachinkos. We are trying to move on, we're trying to forget, but Konami finds a way to remind us and to sort of make it more difficult for us to move on when we have to see shit like this. And what's baffling to me is that the CGI in the Snake Eater Pachinko shows you that if Konami puts their mind to something, they can make some incredible things happen. I mean, that CGI, it's not perfect. The lip syncing is weird. The boss's face is kind of off, and it's not perfect. But I mean, hot damn if it doesn't look good on many levels. But unfortunately, they're taking that cool thing, and instead of focusing their efforts and dedicating their efforts on something that the fans of the Metal Gear series would want, they're dedicating their efforts on something that is purely focused on making money. And look, I get it, Konami as a company, they need to make money, of course. But again, I feel like if they were a good company, they would also understand the concept of consumer loyalty. They would be grateful towards the consumers that gave them the reputation that they have today. Well, the one that they have today is not pretty good, but the one that they had before all this shit went down. But it's just, they don't care. They're ignoring us. They're pretending we don't exist. They're not communicating with us. And it's insulting to the people who have dedicated so much of their time and money towards this franchise that Konami is responsible for. So you tell me, how can we not be pissed? You know? I don't care if there's a Metal Gear Pachinko, as long as the franchise that I love itself and the people who love it are respected. And we're not getting that. We're just getting a company taking advantage of a name that the creator and the fans have built together, and Konami is just stripping that away and then doing their own thing with it because they can and because they know it will make them money. And the saddest thing is that it will probably work. Konami will probably get away with it. To be fair, they're not doing anything stupid, because I do believe that in a recent report, their revenue has gone up since their shift in focus to mobile and Pachinkos. That's the saddest part. It's working. But the transition, the way they're steering the ship, it's not gradual. They're not letting people know what the fuck is up. They're just doing their own thing and leaving everyone else behind. And it's really pissing people off, and can you blame them? But the people who are like, what's the big deal? You're partially right. It is what it is, right? Making the video that I made probably won't really change anything. I know that. But at the very least, we deserve to get it out. We deserve to let our anger out, because that we love the series. We love this franchise, and we deserve to be vocal about it if it's not going in a direction that we like, because it wasn't just Konami who built this up. It was Kojima, it was the people, it was again a symbiotic relationship, and Konami is just Team Konami. So discuss away in the comments below, and for more gaming news, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.